Going to cost you.
หายแล้วกู
You got to the Gnosis Academy, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the Golden House to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over now. Don't make me take it from you.
Take it? Let's light it up! Yeah! Ow! Off we go! Yeah! Ow! Come on! We can do it! Adventure time! Ow! We teamwork is strength! Let's light it up! Let's light it up! Let's light it up! Adventure time! Yeah! Why do they never miss? I'm going in!
So you went.
Look! Child's back to normal again!
Well then, it seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be? You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eye, but if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then in fact...
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the... It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers As such, we must now look to our backup.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. I seldom willingly mingle with any... Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Kuyan's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the GR Archon in the Archon War, and who has... If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me and is large, but knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more.
โอ้ก็เห็นน้ำไม่ใช่นี่วะ
Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on?
กำลังร้อนครับคอมโบงานหยาบน่าจะมาในไม่ช้า
Paimon's exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed.
What are you doing
เยี่ย
here?
น
Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite against this common enemy.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pin in my...
It's not just you. You've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be... Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is not necessary.
What? But all of you are supposed to be the guardians of Liyue.
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong... For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of war. I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begin... Yep.
ตัวตัดแล้วมากันแล้วมันจะมาร้อนเลยนี่โลกาเจน
The Fatui! They're attacking the Guizhong Ballista!
กูยิง
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista.
Mm,
Do
yeah,
not
oh.
let the Fatui disturb their work.
ไหน
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too.
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia.
ทำอะไร
Let one see what you are made of then. What strength remains within you. One wishes to witness.
ถ่ายรูปไม่ได้ทำไมวะอลังการเนี่ยถ่ายรูปถ่ายรูปมีถ่ายไม่ได้มีถ่ายนัดโอ้โหหน่อยเตียนดิ้งหน่อยเตียนนี่เตียนนี่เตียนดินเตียนแห่งหิน
That is Osial's divine power. Be careful not to get hit.
อุ๊ยไม่เห็น
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
อะไรใครมา
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Finish quickly!
โอ้มันผิดมันจริงอะไรกันผิด
There are so many between too.
โอ้ย
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children? Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is adeptal energy. That light from your body. It's like the tide of giant cars. Wow, it's Madam Pink shockwave. This grid is really
อ
strong.
ร่อยอาจารย์ม่วงคุณทาง
Come on, we can do it. Let's dance.
ไม่เอายังไม่เอาตอนนี้
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War. So this is what Ganya's like in a fight.
โอ้เมื่อกี้ไม่โดน
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast.
เดี๋ยวนะพลังจากเซียนวิ่งเร็วมากพลังไม่จำกัดด้วยจ๋า
Child, you're strong in body.
เรื่องได้คุยกันก่อนที่จะเอาทุกคน
Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy
เดียว
at
กันได้
once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
จะได้พลังฟันได้พลังอะไรไม่รู้แต่ฟันแล้วก็เบิด
Look at me.
เอาดิเร็วว่ะ แล้วโอ้ยมันมากมันมากไม่อย่างนี้มานานแล้วไม่อย่างนี้มานานแล้วไม่อย่างนี้มานานแล้ว
Chewy's numbers are thinning.
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
เข้ามาอันนี้อ่ะจ้าเตรียม
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
สุด
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
อุ้ยมันรวมพลังด้วยรวมพลังเหมือนกันมาแล้วปืนเผายิงตายแล้วเนี่ยเรียนช่วยไว้อย่างไรบ้าง
Careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
ยิงแผน
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber. What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a
ผ่าน
hand.
ด้วย
Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
เทสแชมเบอร์เจ็ดแชมเบอร์ไม่จะถือว่าเป็นที่ดีนะ มันอยู่สูงแล้วมันอยู่สวนมันสูงอลังการแบบต้องเสียอะไรอย่างงี้
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the sigil of permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the overlord of the vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great... Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes. 3,700 years. According to our records, even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light. Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage. This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream. What? In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I...
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right. That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the four winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourself?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminate.
Why does everyone look so down?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks, and thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Okay.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection, but it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti, although their blood is weak. There is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, conqueror of demons. Yes, one understands what the conqueror of
เทียนหัว
demons
แข็งอะ
means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place. Fair enough. Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Chising will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's moving. Oh, right. It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out.
มานั่งตรงนี้ยุงมันจะกัด
But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own, so Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death too?
เอาบอลมันมาขายพี่แก้วแม่เอามาดิมันเดินมามือถือพี่หยงพี่แก้วก่อนโอนเดินมามือถือ
Hyman
จบ
doesn't get
ยั
it.
งเปิด
But
ยังไม่
isn't
ถึ
the
ง
strongest lead we have the Adepti-less right of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
ชิวโอ้
เจ้าชายลูกเมียนี่โอ้โห
I keep watch. You leave, you call me.
เราต้องไปแล้วตกเซียนต้องไปหาตรงไปหาปู่ผมกำลังจะเซียนได้ไหมแค่พลังวิ่งเร็วกับสมิน่าไม่จำกัดอะ
ไอ้ที่รู้ว่าแม่งมีรองเท้าสองคู่จอดอยู่หน้ามึงไปทำเป็นรักร้อยมีสองคู่เนาะแต่ว่ามันเงินว่าเนี่ยเป็นคู่ไม่คู่เลย
ครั้งนี้
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
unfortunately Zhongli isn't here at the moment.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the... Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble. We had better go and...
สียงคนรอบๆดังหน่อยนะเพราะว่าผมไม่ได้อยู่ที่บ้านตอนนี้อยู่ที่บ้านพี่ก็เลยไปอาบกันหน่อยเดี๋ยวเสียงดังไปก็โทษด้วยครับ
You call this cooperation between harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? Oh, it seems that some of your
It's Zhongli and Child. And Yip.
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? Right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from your friend.
Well, if it isn't you two, this is our first time seeing each other since Liua was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward.
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now
มีน้ำแข็งใส่กันเอาไหม
ไม่
ไม่เอาไม่น้ำแข็งใส่เอาใส่ขวดนึง
How sanctimonious.
มาก็ถึงแล้วเปิด
What? So you're the Lord of Chiao? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract, for it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
I think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing. Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you, and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky, and all of Lyric goes into an uproar.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see.
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liua. Together, even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks until one drizzly day. As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already...
Oh, Zhongli.
As I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liua, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? So I feigned my own death and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liua Chising to play their roles together on the stage that was Liua. Indeed, I was. The Gnosis, which I had kept for so many years, suddenly seemed to have lost its meaning. That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Lilith back?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Leo matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount. And hats off to the emissary. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli and fulfilled the traditions of Leo in this mortal form. Thank you for walking that path with me, traveler. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was the conduct of the Leo Achising. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Leo. They seized the opportunity to supplant Leo as divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly...
That doesn't sound good at all.
On the contrary,
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me?
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything.
If you hadn't created the pressure of the battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo Archon, Liu would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of his...
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapolyarny Palace and seek an audience with...
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good...
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, my agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
เมื่อไหร่จะเรื่องจะจบเนี่ยจริงๆมันนานกว่านี้อีกแล้วชั่วโมงแล้วเนี่ยเริ่มถ่ายครึ่งหลัง
Today's the day of the rite of party. Although the star of the show is Faith, we spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
เขาบอกให้เดินตามทางเราก็เดินตามทาง
Well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, so Rex Lapis is really... Oh,
Come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think? I don't think any of the gossip. There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank. Fatui? They certainly are very suspicious. Who knows what those greedy, crooked folks... Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't be around to protect...
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released...
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes, it's very possible indeed. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Oh, that wicked black-clouded scoundrel. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things? I have never heard of such a...
forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what the Ministry of...
Hear ye all! Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to gods and adepti live glorious lives. But both light and shadow have their season. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis, having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Chising's announcement said. So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this excuse sounds like something they just made up on the spot. Could the Chising already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? But did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed hands? Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now. Let's go have a look.
ยังไม่จบ
Look, it's Ningguang and Kuching. Are they saying something? Other speech.
As said previously, Rex,
3,700 years of contract.
we, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But the long, unending dream of our Archon woke. Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to sit. Will you stand with us as we reestablish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add? She like traveler. Yikes! She really is looking our way.
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Chising always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. Whoa.
น้องรีบแล้ว
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
เฮ้ยกูพูดเฮ้ยเอกกูพูดครั้งแรกได้เลย โอ้ต้องจบไปแค่นี้ก่อนแล้วเพราะมันจะหมดบาย